Every team, every topic, everywhere. This is Believe.
What's up, hockey think tankers? Welcome to another Short Shifts episode on this beautiful Wednesday. In case you guys didn't know, this episode is presented by Skate Tech. Skate Tech skate sharpening and equipment repair brings you NHL quality service at an affordable retail price. With over 23 years of sharpening and equipment customizing experience, Skate Tech serves as your personal equipment manager, providing you the highest quality skate sharpening, blade profiling, team uniforms, and equipment alterations available on the market today. Let Skate Tech help you take your on-ice performance to the next level with the edge the pros trust. Check them out at skatetechsharpening.com.
Here we go. We got our Short Shifts episode today. 10 minutes are on the clock. Jeffrey Jehu Lavecchio has zero idea what the topic is going to be today. And so I am really excited, Jeff. If you are so much obliged to accept this challenge, talk a little bit of hockey on this magic carpet ride with me as my co-pilot. I say it differently every week. It's absolutely dumb. Hopefully you guys laugh with it because I'm trying to make Vex laugh as I do it. Vex, you ready to rock and roll? Do you accept this challenge?
I accept. What are we doing?
Okay, so I want to talk today about a concept that is extremely important to creating offense in the game of hockey. And you can do this in all three zones. And in all three zones, this concept is extremely important. We've talked about it in different capacities, in different parts of the ice, but I want to talk about it as a whole today. And that is the concept of getting the puck to the middle of the ice. Getting the puck to the middle of the ice during a game. Why it's so important, how it can help you in different areas of the ice, and how it can help to ultimately create offense at the end of the day. So Jeffrey Jehu Lavecchio, getting the puck to the middle of the ice, very broad topic, a lot of ways that you can go with this, but we'll start there. Go.
Well, as you get older, something that you're always trying to do is find space and time. Toph and I have talked about this on the podcast many times. You give a bad player space and time, you make them average. You give an average player space and time, you make them good. You give a good player space and time, you make them great. And the inverse is also true. Take away space and time from a great player, you make them good. Take away space and time from a good player, you make them average. Average, you make them bad, right? So getting to those spots with the puck where you have a little bit more freedom is just going to allow you to open up the game and give you more choices of things that you can do play-wise. If you're coming up the ice and you just stay along the boards and you just stay wide, you can't go any wider. The boards are there. So the D-man know that they can shade a little bit to the middle of the ice because you can only go one way. You can only come into them. You can't skate away from them because the boards are there. If you can get the puck to the middle of the ice, you can go any which way, left, right, diagonals, backwards, forwards. You have infinite opportunities of ways that you could be skating with the puck. Also, that's going to force the D-man or whoever's tracking you to kind of suck to the middle, which then opens up the outside. And it allows the players who are coming behind you to come up with absolute speed, not have to break stride, and you can lay that puck out there for them. And booyah, they are going to be buzzing right into the zone if we're talking about entering offensively unimpeded, and the D-men will be out of their way, right? So, yes, you got to have your head up, and you got to know when to take the puck to the middle of the ice, but it's going to give you way more opportunities just from which direction can I go with the puck?
Yep. Opens up options, creates confusion. Opens up options, creates confusion. I think when you boil it down to the simplest of things, creates options, creates confusion, and also creates better angles when you're talking about like when you get to the offensive zone. Like you don't score goals from outside the dots. Get the puck to the dirty areas of an ice. It gives you a much better angle to be able to score at the end of the day. But when you think about it from like all ends of the rink, right? Like, let's talk about specific situations on the ice where getting the puck to the middle is important. So I believe that, especially on the breakout, one of the best tools and skills that you can help to teach your defense is the ability to use the net. The ability to use the net to shake a forechecker that has a lot of pressure on you, using the net, getting body position. But then after you use the net and you can beat that F1, then what do? Don't go up the side. Go up the middle. If you go up the middle of the ice, you have now created options for yourself to be able to pass the puck one way or the other. If you go up, like you said, on one side, there's only one other way to go. That's easy to defend and easy to angle. That's the other thing. When you think about it defensively, what are you always trying to do? You're trying to angle. The more you are in the middle of the ice, teams are taught to defend from the inside out. If the defender's in the middle of the ice and you're coming up the middle of the ice, it's really hard for that defender to initiate a good angle on you. You've won the ankle battle sometimes, right?
And the second wave of forecheckers, if the reason the first player wants to angle you is because then every player behind them forechecking you, F2, F3, the D-men, they're all making the read off of that. So if you allow yourself to get skated into nothingness, the next guys know exactly where to go to jump on the guy that you're most likely going to pass to. So if you come up the middle of the ice, it's way harder on the rest of the defending team to know where to go.
100%. Then you talk about on entries, right? You talk about entries. We talked about this last week on the 3-on-2s. Get the puck to the middle of the ice. What do the D have to do? They have to respect you in the middle, and they're usually not talking. And so they're filtering into the middle of the ice, and then boom, you kick it out to the outside. You've just created time and space for your teammate. You've just created time and space with your teammate. Also on entries, if you have the puck and you're on the wall and you bring the puck to the middle, now you're creating confusion for the defense that are accepting that rush. Because now, like what Nar always used to say, attack the opposite D. Attack the opposite D, attack the opposite D. Well, when you attack the opposite D, now the D have to communicate, okay, who's taking you now? Is that strong side D going to let you go and give you to the opposite D? Or is he going to take you and then that opposite D is going to kind of filter in under you and take the guy that's coming off your back? Whatever. Like, so it just, again, with the more that you create opportunities to get to the middle of the ice, the more confusion you're going to create with the defensive team, because now they're going to have to sort things out on the entry. But I even think about even things like blue line play. So you go low to high in the offensive zone. If that defenseman passes the puck to their defense partner that's in the middle, or they walk the line and they get to the middle of the ice, now you have a better shot angle to the net. And now you also have created an opportunity to go two different ways with the next pass. You can pass it to the left, you can pass it to the right, as opposed to staying on the wall. Now there's only one way you can go. You have to go that way. And so there's so many different scenarios within the game that getting the puck to the middle of the ice can create advantages for yourself offensively and create chaos and confusion defensively.
And coaches, the sooner that you can get your players to be confident and comfortable breaking the puck out up the middle of the ice, it's going to help them when they get to be older. Just because, not that you're always going to break it up the middle of the ice when you're older, but then they're confident in making that play. Toph and I were coming up. It was never, ever, 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 ever pass the puck in the middle of the ice on the breakout, ever. And then first practice in the AHL, first thing we did, practice breakouts up the middle of the ice. And I was like, wow, this is hilarious. Same thing with the backhand. Never pass it on your backhand when I was growing up, ever. Well, I had a tough time on the backhand, especially when you grow up and you got to make plays in an instant, at the highest levels, the American League, NHL, things like that, pro over in Europe. Like, you've got to be able to use your backhand. So, don't have those rules of saying, no, you can't do this, and actually start working on those things.
Yeah. As a former recruiter / scout, if you can watch a game and there's a center that can find that little pocket in the middle when the D has F1 and maybe even F2 all over them and they got nowhere else to go because F2 and F3 are typically either right on you as F2, or F2 and F3 are taking away the walls. You can find that little pocket, like, that's a smart hockey player. And then also you think about a D who has a forechecker bearing down on you. And for all the defensemen out there that play in checking ages, the worst thing is knowing that you got to go back for a puck and you got somebody whose sole job is to put you through the glass. That is not a fun thing as a defenseman. And so if you can shoulder check and make that little slip play into the middle to a center because that's your only option, dude, that makes scouts excited. They're like, oh, that kid knows the game.
Well, and I was primarily a winger in my career, and you play against a team whose D are pinching all the time. It's really hard to break the puck out, and if your D man gets in trouble, they just pass on the problem to you, even though they know the D man's coming to you, because a lot of guys didn't want to try and make that play underneath or through the near side post as you're coming around the net and hitting the center. But you're going to get out of the zone every single time, especially in youth hockey. If you can get your guys to be comfortable breaking it out up the middle of the ice, you're gonna win a lot of games.
Yep, you're gonna play a lot less in your offense or in your defensive zone. Best way to defend: don't play in your zone.
Share the show.
All right, get the puck to the middle of the ice. There we go. Share the show.
If you like the show, please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe. It really does help the show to grow. Thank you for listening.